Hello, my name is Shannon Lee, and I am providing your professional development training today. And the curriculum that we are going to go over is social emotional learning. Social emotional learning has been incorporated now into school, and it has become a 30-minute segment for students in order to see where they are at in their thinking, their emotions, and just how to help them get through their day, their week, their month, or even a moment. So let me ask you this question, and then we're going to get started. Do your emotions pause your learning? Let's take a moment to think about that. Do your emotions interfere with your actions, daily plans, the processing of thoughts, your ability to retain information, or even to pay attention? Hold your answer. What do you know about social emotional learning? What did you hear about it? Why do you believe that it is important? Do you believe that you have to be a counselor to teach social emotional learning? So, a lot of times, teachers are not familiar with teaching emotions because they're used to teaching educational book texts. Because some teachers feel like it is not their part in teaching about emotions and dealing with emotions and how it feels. But at that moment, that child is in your class going through an emotional time. What do you do with that child? How do you teach that child to move on? How do you teach that child to process the information in order to retain what you are trying to teach them? So this is the same thing. We're just heading it off first so that they can use the skills that will make it less impactful in their learning. Social emotional learning. What is social emotional learning? And why do we have social emotional learning? Let's watch this video.
There's a lot of talk these days about SEL, social emotional learning. But what exactly is it? Social emotional learning is the process of learning social and emotional skills, and it's just as important as learning reading or math. This learning process is most effective when it begins early and continues through high school. Social emotional skills are essential for success in school, work, and life. With SEL, students learn to manage their own emotions and behaviors, have empathy and show care and concern for others, solve problems effectively, make responsible decisions, and maintain healthy relationships. Students learn to recognize what's happening inside them and to be aware of their emotions, which helps them deal with strong emotions and impulsive behaviors. It helps them stop, take a breath, and think about a situation before acting. Students learn to identify others' emotions and perspectives, which helps them empathize and show compassion, no matter who they are or what their background is. It's not difficult to imagine how this is important in the classroom and in life. Students learn to solve problems in peaceful ways and communicate assertively about what they need or want. This helps them get along with other students and get the help they need from adults. When students learn to make responsible decisions about their lives and their future, things can turn out better. Research shows social-emotional learning makes a difference. Students who participate in SEL do better academically, have improved attitudes and behaviors, and act in delinquent or disruptive ways less often. In the United States, students with strong social-emotional competence are twice as likely to earn a college degree and nearly 50% more likely to graduate from high school and have a full-time job by age 25. Just as important, students who are socially and emotionally competent have more friends. This means they're more likely to feel connected to school and do well, and less likely to be left out or bullied. Simply put, by participating in social-emotional learning, students learn the skills to succeed in every facet of school and the rest of their lives.
So let's unpack social emotional learning. The 5 competencies areas of social emotional learning: self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, responsible decision making, and self-awareness. There are personal competencies and there are social competencies. Personal, self-awareness. It's the capabilities of identifying your emotions and how they affect you, how they affect your thinking, your behavior, meaning your actions, everything that deals with you. Examples: you pay attention to what bothers you, and you're always making sure that not only you're paying attention to what is bothering you, but what bothers other people. You meditate on your mind, meaning that you take in focus of what's going on in your thinking to make sure that it's not negative. And you do replacement thinking of positive thoughts. Read high quality fiction. This means that sometimes we need to read into positive things to create positive effects. Look at the reality of things. Identify your emotional kryptonite. What causes your emotion to go down? Is it certain people, certain things, getting up at a certain time? What is it? What causes your emotions that are high to become low? Draw a timeline of your life. If you draw a timeline of your life, a lot of times it shows you patterns of emotion. Because you're going to do an emotional timeline. Things that have happened to you and what emotion did you have, whether it's good, bad, positive, negative. Look at the pattern that went on at that time. And if those patterns are negative, how do you change those patterns? Ask for feedback. Constructive criticism is the best way to fix yourself, but you also got to be willing to take it. You got to be willing to hear it, receive it, process it, and say, okay, this is what I need to do or not. So we have that saying, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. If it's something in need, fix it and take it and redo it. Do some micro travel. That means step outside of your normal comfort zone. Go to areas or places that you can go to. Right now, we're in COVID. So, of course, we cannot do a lot of flying. So, therefore, go to different neighborhoods, explore different environments, demographics. It will tell you or teach you things about yourself, your prejudice, your biases, your fears. It'll provide you an outlook of yourself by exploring outside of you. Learn a new skill. Sometimes we get so content in what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, we're not willing to step outside that box. But I'm telling you, it's okay to step outside that box. Because if you learn a new skill, then you learn that you can do other things when your mind takes you somewhere else. Identify distorted thinking. That means look at what's going on in your mind at that time. Is it irregular, illogical, negative, or just wrong? And sometimes this comes from your upbringing, your belief, your traditions, your culture. So you have to really take a good view of how you think and why. Make time to clarify your values. What's important to you? Why is it important? And why is it, if it's important, you keep putting it on the back burner? So therefore, we got to make sure that we put things that are important and of value in the front to make sure that we don't lose it. Social awareness. How to develop healthy social skills. Being able to display emotions and empathy for individuals is necessary because as much as we want someone to have empathy for what we go through, we need to have that same empathy. So we need to reciprocate that empathy toward individuals. And notice we didn't say sympathy, we said empathy. That means we can understand and empathize what you're going through. Because if I show sympathy, then I might take in that emotion. So empathy leaves you at a surface level. Then you have being able to identify nonverbal cues, social nonverbal cues. If you're talking to someone and they're putting their head down, looking around. If you walk up and someone walk out. Or if you're talking about something and their face gestures change. Nonverbal cues determine how a person feels. So nonverbal language is much louder than verbal language. Because you can be saying one thing, but your body can be saying another. Modeling and demonstrating cultural awareness and sensitivity. We have to be very aware of everybody's traditions and cultures because we have a diverse world. And having a diverse world means we need to be sensitive to who individuals are and what they believe. Because everybody do not think the same, believe the same. Families are not the same. Belief systems are not the same. And we are to respect each other's cultures and beliefs. Being able to use reflective listening to comprehend and model respect for everyone. So that will still fall into the same thing. If we learn to listen and take in and process with an open mind what individuals are saying and not always take the victim or personalize it, we can then hear what someone is saying, respect their views, respect their options, respect their point of view, and understand that just because we don't agree, it doesn't make them bad or you bad, or that it doesn't make you have to be defensive. We just agree to disagree because everybody have their own point of view. Being able to identify community, school, and family resources for assistance. Many times, individuals need help and they're scared to reach out. This is where the family, school, and community step in. Because we want to make sure individuals, students, or kids are comfortable to say, I don't have food at home. Or this is the only outfit I have that I can wear. How do we get assistance? How do we reach out? How do we get some help? When I was teaching in Dallas, we had many students who only ate at school. And I observed those students I watched them. I watched how they ate their food, asking for more. So individually, one by one, I would pull them in and host a discussion. And the discussion would be a roundabout way not to make them feel insecure, unsafe, or feel like they're telling on their family. But I learned from talking with them, families did not have the funds. Once food stamps gave them only 200 some dollars, once the food was eaten up, they were not able to receive or get anything else until the following month. So we started the backpack program where every Friday a student who needed food would leave the school with a backpack full of food. So every Monday the student would bring the backpack back and it will get filled again every Friday. Incorporating this program and assistance helps students feel better, do better in class, perform better, and their confidence was built because no one had to know and they were being provided the resources they needed. Relationship skills. Being able to manage and resolve conflict. How do you view a friendship? Don't you want someone that you can talk to? Well, so do kids. They want to be able to talk to someone. They want to be able to talk to their friends. But then there's conflict sometimes, and they don't know how to handle it. We teach them conflict and resolution skills, providing and seeking help for those who need it. We teach them how to be, it's okay to say, I need help. And we model that while we're in class. Knowing when to use humor at the appropriate time. Sometimes people humor is at the expense of someone else's feelings. And we never know what that may do to that person. So we always have to remember that if it's not humorous for us at our time, then it's not humorous for them at their time. Being able to create healthy relationships with diverse individuals or groups. Teaching diversity awareness. Again, diversity sensitivity. It's okay to know other people. It's okay to learn other people. It's okay to have any and everybody as your friend. As long as it's respectful, you develop a connection, and you're not doing anything that's going to hurt or harm that next person. Being able to have an effective communication and listening skill. That's very important as a child because sometimes kids are in an entitlement stage and it's all about them. I want to talk about me, 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 what's going on with me, 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 me. And they want their friends to listen and not say anything or always be on their me, 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 me. We have to teach students, children, how to have the give and take communication. You give some communication, you take some communication. It's the give and take. Then we also have to teach resisting inappropriate social pressure. Teaching children, students to say, no, I don't want to do that. No, I'm not going. No, I don't want to try that. You go ahead. Why are these skills the most important skills? Because I think relationship skills are the most important skill for kids. Yes, that's correct. Because they all want friends. They all want someone they can talk to. They all want to belong to someone and something. Responsible decision making because Responsible decision making comes with having friends, because you got to make the right decision to decide if that person needs to be your friend. Being able to identify problems. That means being able to look at everything around it and see if it's looked wrong, seemed wrong, it is wrong. Being able to view situations and find options. That means now that I see the problem, what is the situation surrounding the problem? And what are my options for a solution? Let me create a list of options. Let me evaluate these options and what the end result will look like if I pick either option. Because whatever I pick has to be in the best interest for myself and somebody else. Because if it only affects me, then that's fine if I'm the only one involved. But if I'm not the only one involved, then it has to be something that benefits both parties in one way or another. Ways to help students in decision making. Help them brainstorm different ideas and point of views when there's a problem, a situation, or an indifference. Have them to learn to back up, breathe, and evaluate the situation, because everything doesn't need a response right then. Everything don't have to be attacked right at that point. Sometimes you got to back up, breathe, and let it process through in order to look at the situation totally. Have them again to review the options, analyze the outcome of the options. What does it look like? And be confident in the decision that you make, as long as it's fair, there's evidence, you being equal, and it'll help someone in the long run. Self-awareness again. Who are you? What do you want? Why do you want it? How will it help you? So that means accepting you for who you are and what you will or will not do. Understand who you are. Understand what you want to do, what you will not do. These are the things that kids go through. They don't know who they are at this age. They don't know what's going on. Some adults don't even know who they are and what they want. So just imagine if you're an adult, think about a child. How do we help a child guide themselves to self-awareness? By accepting themselves for who they are and what they will or will not do. We have a lot of students now in this generation that have identity crisis, or they have that in between stage of trying to understand them and their bodies, their mind, their thinking, their wants and not wants. Students are trying to decide if they want to be a heterosexual or if they want to be a LGBTQ or transgender or non-conforming. These are self-awareness issues that students are facing, children are facing daily. How do we help them get through that? Deciding to provide discipline to self and understand that all fall off plan. Just get back on the plan. So we're teaching them how to be disciplined, time management. It's okay. Sometimes we get off schedule, but the key is to get back on the schedule. Get back on the plan and keep going. Last but not least, but last for this slide, is taking in self-care time and listening to your body. We have to perform self-care. That means taking a brain break. Stepping away from laptops, computers, games, books, sometimes even people. Go outside, take a nature walk, take a walk, go play football, basketball, soccer, baseball, softball, kickball. Go to the gym or go outside and work out. Again, we're in COVID, so you may have to create you a workout outside in your backyard, in front of your door at the apartment, in your apartment, in your townhome, wherever it is. Be creative. But you got to put you first. Go and eat some ice cream. Go sit and watch TV, your favorite movie. But whatever it is, take good care of yourself. So we got to teach kids to have self-care. We got to teach them how to have a brain break. So right now, we're going to take the time to do some social emotional learning role play. Because before we teach it, don't we need to practice it ourselves? Because it says practice what you teach and teach what you practice. So we're going to practice. One of our situations, we have 5. Cooperation. You have been assigned a group for your English language or reading project, and you do not like 2 of the people that were assigned to your group with you. How do you handle that? How do you manage your emotions yourself with that? Trust. A friend of yours no longer trusts you because you told the other people what she told you in a private conversation. Now you want the friendship back and you want to regain trust and faith. How do you manage that? How do you communicate with your friend that you're sorry? You didn't mean to. You didn't know that you couldn't tell. How do your friend communicate back to you that I told you in private, I thought you were my friend? Or what could both ladies, or male and female, or whoever it is, could have done to solidify the communication? Inclusion. You notice that a student with special needs is sitting alone at lunch. The student always seems to be left out. How do you bridge the gap or make the student feel wanted? How do you, as a student, take on a role, and it's a leadership role, to say, you know what, let's go sit with that student and have them to join our conversation. They always sit by themselves. What if your friends don't want to go and they tell you, well, you can go, but we ain't going? How do you handle that? What is your emotion? What do you do? Do you stay, or do you go ahead and stand out and stand on your own? Caring. Your friend did not make the team and you did. Your friend is upset, stops talking to you, and decides not to answer any of your phone calls. What actions, if any, can you make with your friend? Do you do anything about that? It's not your fault your friend didn't make the team. You didn't have any say in that. So why is your friend treating you bad? How do you approach that situation? How do you approach your friend? Courage. You just saw a good friend take another student's lunch without asking. What do you do about the situation? Do you go and talk to that friend and say, hey, put that back? And if you do go tell them to put it back, what if they say, no, you can't make me? How do you manage that? What emotion happens? And what do you do with that emotion? Or do you go and tell? And then that's a different situation. So we have 5 role plays. So we're going to break out in our breakout rooms, and I'm going to let the system automatically create your breakout rooms. So in the breakout room, you are going to have a role play. So we're going to have 5 breakout rooms. So the first breakout room will take courage. The second breakout room will take caring. The third breakout room will take inclusion. The fourth breakout room will take trust. And the fifth breakout room will take cooperation. So in your breakout room, you're going to read over your issue. You're going to create a scene. So that means some of y'all get ready to put your acting on. You know, some people grew up and said, I wanted to be an actor or actress. Well, this is your time to be an actor and an actress. You are going to act out your scene. You have someone to narrate, and you're going to be creative in your solution. So you're going to pick an actor or actress, or both, have a narrator, and come up with creative solutions. Because this is what we want our kids to do. We want to be able to act it out, use coping skills, use strategies. So before we are able to tell them the strategies, we need to come up with some strategies. And then when we come back, we should have a few minutes left, and we're going to have strategies written on our board. In fact, I need one scriber on the group. As you're coming up with your strategies, there is, if you look on our Jamboard, and I'm going to put it in our chat room, on the Jamboard, get a notepad, and you're going to write out your strategies that you're using for your group. And I'm going to have don't do it yet. I'll tell everyone when to post your strategies on Jamboard, because I don't want someone else seeing your strategies and decide to duplicate your strategies. Because I need everyone to be creative. Because do we want every child to use the same strategy for themselves? No, because every strategy doesn't fit every child. So I am going to give you, let's say 10 minutes. Do you think 10 minutes is good? Okay. Then we're all in agreement. You have 10 minutes to create, innovate, motivate, and cultivate. So once you see your room, breakout room, come to your screen and say join, please go ahead and join. Go ahead and join your breakout rooms now. So as they come back on, let's see, breakout rooms, it's been 10 minutes. Let's let everyone come back. So how was it? Okay, I hear good, struggling. Okay. So do you think kids struggle? Yes. You think it was challenging for them to deal with some of this? Yes. Okay. Okay. So you've had this experience before where your friend told a secret that you told them. Okay. You were mad at them, but it saved your life. Okay. Sometimes it does that. It's kind of like due diligence, duty to warn. You can tell me something, but if I feel like it's hurting you or something is wrong with this, like if someone is hurting you at home, abusing you, or if you're being abused mentally, physically, or sexually, um, if you don't have food, if you don't have nowhere to stay, I'm gonna tell you as a friend, I'm probably gonna tell someone because you need some help. You may not like that, but I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna tell someone because you're gonna need some help. But there are times and places and conversations because there are times people tell you stuff. Maybe your friend told you, was telling you, told your friend about the first time having a period and what happened, or the first time you kissed a girl, or the first time you kissed a boy, or those things. Those are conversations. Those are intimate, private conversations. So those are the ones you don't put out. But see, sometimes kids don't know what's private and what's not because the world opens up so much to them. So that too, social media is also part of social emotional learning. Okay. So as we look back, let's look into your roles. Go ahead and post your strategies on your Jamboard so that we all can review it. Okay. Take time out to get to know the person. Okay. Pull the person aside with an adult to talk to them or another trusted friend. Okay. Go and ask the student to join you or stand up for yourself and don't fall to pressure. Okay. Back up and breathe. Something we just discussed. Be patient. Allow your friends' emotions to come around. Okay. Okay. Assertiveness. Be able to stand up for yourself. Okay. All right. Being assertive again. See something, say something. Okay. So let's pause. Do you think students have these skills already? Okay, some do, some don't. Okay, you're right. So therefore, we know some do and some don't. Why not allow us who know right from wrong to utilize some of these skills and help kids who do know right from wrong from those who don't know how to use skills and strategies? Let's blend them. Let's help each other. That's why role playing is necessary, even in your social emotional learning. Because when you act it out, you see it, you understand it, and make it more believable. But when someone is just telling you something, how do you know how to manage it? How do you know how to do it if you're not doing it or if you don't see how it works? Seeing allows someone to step into the role in order to believe it. reflection. Provide 3 things you can take away from this professional development. And while you're thinking about that, let's go back to our first question. Do your emotions pause your learning? Yeah, it's a difference now, right? After going through this. So let's look at it. How many of you have had an emotional situation to take place this year? And you may have taken off work. You may not have been able to give 100% if you went to work. You really didn't want to be bothered. You gave paper assignments, book assignments. Raise by the raise of hand. So if you feel that way, what do you think the child feels? What do you think these students feel? Let's take it a step further. How many of you have decided to go back to school to further your degree, enhance your degree, or get another certification? Okay, to both of you. During these emotional times, how many of you were able to complete an assignment? How many of you had to email your instructor and say, this, and this is going on. Can you please accept my work later? So if we expect for our professors, our instructors to do that for us, why is it that as an educator ourselves, we don't do it for our students? And they're much younger. And they need the confidence, and they need the consideration, and they need the understanding. This is why it's important for social emotional learning. This is why it's important. And this is why you don't have to be a counselor in order to teach social emotional learning. Because we socialize, we have emotions, we've learned from dealing with our emotions, so let's teach others how to deal with their emotions. So let's go back. Provide 3 things you can take away from this professional development. There is another Jamboard. I'm getting ready to say a whiteboard over there on the wall. We're so used to working off the walls, but we're on COVID. We're all on Zoom. I'm sorry. So there is another, and I did create it on Jamboard, but I wanted to say because that's the normalness. So another Jamboard for your reflection. You're going to put your last name and your 3 takeaways. Now, do anyone have any questions about the training? Do anyone need me to expand on more? What materials do you need to be successful in teaching social emotional learning? In reality, we have a curriculum. We use Read, Think. There are social emotional curriculums that are already out there, and then you have Google. They just need for you to be considerate, understanding, and be able to deliver professionally and fairly. And with that, then you can win them. You can help them understand their social emotional learning. I want to thank you. I enjoyed this class. You were very engaging participant. I guess we all wanted to participate in learning how to deal with social emotional. I enjoyed teaching you, providing you these resources. If you need me, again, I am Shannon Lee, and I am going to add this is my email. So if you need anything, please do not hesitate to email me. If you want a copy of this PowerPoint presentation, email me and say, may I have PowerPoint in the subject line, and I will give that to you. You have a survey on your table. Please complete the survey. Tell me how I did. Tell me what I can do more. If I need to provide more, expand more on something, just let me know. I'm okay with that. That's why we have surveys. Remember, accept feedback. As you are leaving, you will hand in your survey, and then I will hand you your certificate for this training. Is there any other questions? Good time. Thank you for joining me today for our professional development. I hope that you receive knowledge and skills and strategies to use with your students while teaching social emotional learning. See you next time. Bye.